Telling the Bees by John Greenleaf Whittier, 1807 to 1892. Here is the place, right over the hill, runs the path I took. You can see the gap in the old wall still, and the stepping stones in the shallow brook. There is the house with the gate red barred, and the poplars tall, and the barn's brown length, and the cattle yard, and the white horns tossing above the wall. There are the beehives ranged in the sun, and down by the brink of the brook are her poor flowers weed o'errun, Pansy and daffodil, rose and pink. A year has gone as the tortoise goes, heavy and slow, and the same rose blows, and the same sun glows, and the same brook sings of a year ago. There's the same sweet clover smell in the breeze, and the June sun warm tangles his wings of fire in the trees, setting as then over Fernside Farm. I mind me how with a lover's care from my Sunday coat I brushed off the burrs and smoothed my hair, and cooled at the brookside my brow and throat. Since we parted, a month had passed, to love a year. Down through the beeches I looked at last on the little red gate, and the wells sweep near. I can see it all now, the slantwise rain of light through the leaves, the sundown's blaze on her window pane, the bloom of her roses under the eaves. Just the same as a month before, the house and the trees, the barn's brown gable, the vine by the door, nothing changed but the hive of bees. Before them, under the garden wall, forward and back, went drearily singing the chore girls small, draping each hive with a shred of black. Trembling, I listened. The summer sun had the chill of snow, for I knew she was telling the bees of one gone on the journey we must all go. Then I said to myself, my Mary weeps for the dead today. Haply her blind old grandsire sleeps, the fret and the pain of his age away. But her dog whined low on the doorway sill. With his cane to his chin the old man sat, and the chore girl still sung to the bees stealing out and in. And the song she was singing ever since in my ear sounds on. Stay at home, pretty bees, fly not hence. Mistress Mary is dead and gone. Okay, this is a poem by John Greenleaf Whittier. He was from Massachusetts. He was a Quaker. So what's this poem about? Well, this poem is about telling the bees. There was an old custom that when somebody died, you needed to tell the bees, otherwise the bees would fly away. And bees is something they do fly away, and people believe that if you didn't tell the bees to stay, then they would go. Anyway, this poem is a narrative. It's a narrative by John Greenleaf Whittier. I also forgot to mention he was a very fervent abolitionist of slavery. This poem tells about a young man who he's been away and he comes back to see his love Mary, and he's been away for some time, and when he arrives he sees the the serving girl putting black on the beehives, and he thinks, well, this must be because the old grandfather has died. And then he gets closer, and he sees that the grandfather is still there, and in fact, Mary, the girl that he loves, who he's come to see, is the one who's dead. So it's a very sad poem in its way. Here is the place, right over the hill, runs the path I took. So this is this young man talking. He's coming to his lover's farm. The girl he loves is coming to his farm. Here's the place, over the hill. This is the path. You can see the gap in the old wall still. You can see the gap in the wall. And the stepping stones in the shallow brook. And these are the stepping stones where you go across the river. And there is the house with the gate red barred and the poplars tall. And look, there's the house over there with the red gate and the tall poplar trees. And the barn's brown length and the cattle yard. Yeah, and look, there's the barn and there's the cattle yard. Oh, and look, the white horns tossing above the wall. You can see the horns of the cows just above the wall. There are the beehives ranged in the sun. And look, there are the beehives out in the sun. And down by the brink of the brook are her poor flowers, weed o'errun. And down by the edge of the little stream are the flowers, and they're are the flowers that Mary, his girlfriend, loves, and these are overrun with weeds, but they're pansies and daffodils and roses and pinks, carnations. A year has gone as the tortoise goes, heavy and slow. So he says that it's a year, as a very slow, heavy year, that has moved like a tortoise since he was last here. And the same rose blows and the same sun glows. Yeah, so he's back again, and it's the same place, and it's the same rose and the same sun, and the same brook, the same stream that sings of a year ago. It's the same beautiful place. There's the same sweet clover smell, same sweet smell. It's very nice. The same sweet clover smell in the breeze, so he can smell the clover in the breeze, and the June sun warm. Yeah, and the warm June sun tangles his wings of fire in the trees. So here June is being personified as having wings, and it's got its wings of fire in the trees, setting as then over Fernside Farm. So the June sun is setting, and he can see the sun in the trees. I mind me how with a lover's care from my Sunday coat I brushed off the burrs and smoothed my hair, and cooled at the brookside my brow and throat. So I was carefully as I'm going to see the girl I love. I brushed the burrs, the bits that stuck to my coat, and I brushed my hair, and I put a little bit of water to cool myself, and I drank a bit of water from the brook. So he's getting ready. He's making himself look nice to see Mary. Since we parted, a month had passed, to love a year. So now he actually says that it's a month since he had seen her. But as they love each other, as he loves her and she loves him, or he loves her, this has seemed like a year. A year has gone by since he has seen her. It feels like that. Down through the beeches I looked at last, on the little red gate and the well sweep near. So I looked through the beech trees, and I could see the little red gate and the area where the well is to get the water. So he's there, he's arrived. I can see it all now, the slantwise rain of light through the leaves. So he's now he's now remembering it. So he's actually remembering all of this, and he can see the sun shining slantwise, and he's used rain, but rain is a metaphor here. It's the light is raining, and the light is coming through at an angle through the leaves. The sundowns blaze on her window pane. Yeah, so the blaze, the sun is shining on Mary's window pane, and the bloom of her roses under the eaves. So under the edge of the roof he can see her roses blooming, and it's a beautiful scene. Just the same as a month before. So he's saying that he's been away for a month. It's not clear if it's a month or a year, but it feels like a year, very definitely. The house and the trees, the barn's brown gable, the vine by the door. Okay, the gable is the bit where the roof makes this shape at the top. Nothing changed but the hive of bees. So everything's the same. The house is the same. The gable of the barn, the vine, the grapevine by the door. Nothing had changed but the hive of bees. There was something different about the hives, about the beehives. Before them, under the garden wall, forward and back, went drearily singing the chore girl small, draping each hive with a shred of black. So now he sees the beehives, and there's the chore girl, the girl who does the chores, the servant girl, going backwards and forwards, and she's covering each hive with a piece of black cloth. Uh-oh, somebody's died. That's really bad. There's a difference. Trembling, I listened. The summer sun had the chill of snow. I was trembling when I realized that somebody had died. Yeah? And suddenly this warm summer day, it was like as cold as if it had been snowing. For I knew she was telling the bees of one gone on the journey we all must go. And I knew this girl was telling the bees that someone had died. Somebody has gone on the journey that is waiting for all of us. Then I said to myself, Mary weeps for the dead today. Haply her blind old grandsire sleeps the fret and the pain of his age away. So I said to myself, yes, but Mary, this is because Mary's sad because her grandfather, her grandsire, has died. Yeah, he has died, and the worry and pain of his age is no more. Yeah, and her grandfather is sleeping happily in death, no longer in pain, no longer old and infirm. But her dog whined low on the doorway sill. But then he heard her dog whining on the entrance to the door. With his cane to his chin the old man sat. So her grandfather was sitting there with his chin on his cane. And the chore girl still sung to the bees stealing out and in. And the chore girl, the servant girl, was still singing to the bees that they must stay, that they mustn't go, even though someone has died. And the song she was singing ever since in my ears sounds on, and I will remember now forever the song that she was singing. Stay at home, pretty bees, fly not hence, so don't fly away, bees. Mistress Mary is dead and gone. So his love, the girl that he loves, who he's come to see, is dead. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Telling the Bees by John Greenleaf Whittier.